to Nnamdi Kanu's detention, the federal government, are you one of, do you are one of the persons who feel that the federal government is intentionally putting holding him down to prevent escalation from his end?
No, when you say holding him down, I do not think any Nigerian, deserve to be held down for any reason whatsoever. But if
no,
excuse
no,
me, please,
that statement is
no,
to a large extent incorrect.
no, that's just allow
Okay,
me,
okay, okay. Land.
allow me to land, please. Now, if somebody is suspected to have committed a crime, because our laws said that everybody is innocent until he or she has been proven guilty, by a competent court of jurisdiction. And so far, so good. To the best of my knowledge, the man is just alleged to have committed some of these offenses, and good or bad, it's expected that if somebody is subjected, to the legal process, I think time is of the essence. There's a popular saying that justice delayed is justice denied. For me, I am not one of Nnamdi Kanu's fan. I have always stood by, a one indefeasible Nigeria, and in as much as there is a right to self-determination, I also believe that there are stipulated procedures, that you are meant to follow as an individual or as a group or a people, and I personally believe that Nnamdi Kanu has actually not gone about this issue of self-determination in the right way and manner. That being said, my worry is the fact that for a trial that started in 2015, he was granted bail
2017,
and it was stated that some of his bail conditions were violated, clearly seen by all and sundry, and an attempt was made to rearrest him. He absconded, and sometime in 2001 or thereabout, he was rearrested. 2021, beg your pardon, he was rearrested, and this is 2025. And the government is yet to secure a conviction. So my worry is this: why the delay? Why the back and forth? One would ordinarily want to see the entire process completely exhausted. If the federal government, if they have any evidence against the young man, I think 4, 5, 6, 7 years is enough, to complete the entire process, and we see a logical conclusion of the matter. You could remember when Simon Ekpa, who happens to be one of the proponents of this, when he was arrested in Finland, it didn't take the government of Finland up to a year
to convince him
to secure a conviction. So if that has been done by the Nigerian government, by now we'll not be having this discussion about protests and all of that. So for me, it is a government that has given the leeway for some of these agitations, to fly.
But the question I've been longing to ask, and I've always asked, is why have the government continued to delay the convention or delay the court process? Do you think that, first things first, do you think the federal government is intentionally delaying the court process, and why are they doing that if that's actually the case?
I wish I could give you
an answer,
a
straightforward
verifiable reasons why the delay.
But you think that there's an intentional,
but from every indication, if the government is not ready, coupled with the shenanigans and all the drama playing out, in the judicial process. And of the truth, I tell you, the judicial arm of government has actually not done well for itself, because already the Nigerian populace and the Nigerian people have this loss of trust and confidence
For the
in our
judiciary.
judiciary, you know, and so far so good. I have not seen anything, the judiciary have done differently to allay some of these, apprehension and fears and loss of confidence that the people, have on them, coupled with this whole, back and forth that we're seeing in this matter. So for me, if the government had done the needful, you won't be hearing of all of this protest call and all of that. So for me, the government should tread with caution. They say you do not spank a child and you deprive the child of his right to cry. Protest is a right of every Nigerian, and I do not even believe that a court can just come out and say you want to stop protest. By doing so, that means we have drifted into dictatorship. In a democratic setting, you cannot even go to court to secure an order for people not to protest. Even the one they said that, oh, don't come to Aso Rock, don't come to this, don't come to that. What if other people spontaneously? Because if you're addressing Sowore, so don't come to this. What about other people? If they spontaneously come out and even go the direction of the Eagle Square and Aso Rock and all, are you going to kill everybody? Are you going to arrest everybody? So for me, if we are done the needful before now, there are certain things that can be prevented before it gets to this level.
We have not even gotten to the conversation of the protests now. We are looking at the real situation, the Nnamdi Kanu situation. First, let's look at the major factors as regards his conviction. First is what we heard about the medical evaluation. They called ordered a medical evaluation to assess Nnamdi Kanu's health to determine if he's fit for trial. And of course, the Nigerian Medical Association, that's NMA, was tasked with conducting the evaluation, but the report wasn't ready, causing for adjournment. Of course, we have also court adjournment. The case has been adjourned multiple times, with the latest adjournment set for October 23rd to allow Nnamdi Kanu to begin his defense. We also have legal challenges. Kanu legal team has raised concerns about legitimacy of the trial, citing unlawful extradition and alleged violation of international law. I mean, these are the back and forth, issues that has been delaying. You think this is unnecessary?
Completely unnecessary. They say where there is a will, there is a way. Some of these excuses for me does not hold water. This is almost, if I'm not mistaken, my mathematics serves me right. We are talking about more than 10 years. And the process that started in 2015. The trial started in 2015. This is 2025. And if the government, the Nigerian state, is genuinely prepared to go through a trial and get a conviction, if that conviction is what they are moving towards, if what they intend to get, by now we would have gotten to the logical conclusion of the matter. If there are no evidences to convict the man, then he should be released. My only worry about all of these calls, protests, and all of that is the fact that most times political elements see some of these things as an opportunity to cash in, and it's what
to cash in.
So yeah.
How do you mean?
Now today accidentally marks the how many years now? Is it 3 or 4, 2 years of the NSAS protests? Today is the remembrance and all of that, and already people would willingly want to come out to remember some of their friends and colleagues that that were victims and casualties of that protest that took place a couple of years back, and coupled with this free Nnamdi Kanu, so it's not just a coincidence, it was premeditated. And you know, everything in this country,
Premeditated by whom now?
you know, by those who are organizing to this project. I'm sure the date did not just come to them as they intentionally, you know. So it's something that, you know, opposition elements would want to use as, you know, an attack mechanism to get at the government in power. So it's all about the Nigerian state not, you know, being proactive enough, not being thoughtful enough to manage situations before it gets to a crisis level. When you say peaceful protest, you cannot tell whether a protest would eventually become peaceful or violent, because at the point of people gather, before you know, other people will come, before you know, you see those for and against and all of that, before you know, it becomes a free for all. Before you know, public properties, you know, become, you know, what they used to, you know, get at themselves. And it's something that we don't, you know, hope for. But like I've said before, if the judicial process has been, you know, concluded, if it was flowing to the extent that by now the fate of Nnamdi Kanu has been decided, we will not be having this discussion. So those who calling for the government to free the man, I do not think it's out of place, in as much as I know that, of course, the matter is in court. You know, the matter is in court, and the court is not ready to conclude the matter. That's okay. If you cannot conclude the matter, then free the man. On that, we'll be asking ourselves, if you free the man, as the issue about why he was arrested and all of that, has it been settled? So it leaves so much to be desired in the mind. So in fact, it becomes confusing if we truly want an organized and peaceful society when we are not ready to make institutions to work. The judicial arm of government, they say, is the common hope of the common man. Is the hope of the common man, you know. And from every indication, the common man's case seems to be a hopeless case, because when somebody will be under trial for more than 10 years, and you know, so it's not palatable. And like I've said before, the government should try as much as possible to manage this situation with utmost care and caution. Otherwise, you know,
the situation of the protest now, the protest,
yes, the police, all of this, you know, talking tough and all of that, if it is not properly managed. In fact, I'm advising an abundance of caution. If you want to come out with all little force, oh, you must not go there, you must not go here, the next thing you see tear gas flying left, right and center. You see people, you know, it's coupled with all the troubles, all the worries, all the frustrations, and you know, when people come out to pour out all of this, I do not think, if you like, you unleash the entire police force, it will be able to solve the problem. But we've lost it from the initial time when the government refused to see how they can allay some of these things before it gets to this level. The other day we were talking about strike and industrial war and all of that, where we talked about if you are unable to solve the problem at the consultation and consolidation stage, when it gets to confrontation, a lot of things, you know, go haywire. So the government the judicial process should try as much as possible to be, you know, to be alive to their responsibility. If the man does not have anything to answer for, they should release him and, you know, discharge the whole matter. If he has, then the conviction should be secured, and let everybody, you know, rest about this whole matter of Nnamdi Kanu. His thing is getting too longer than necessary. That's my position.
Well, concerning the protest, the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest is going ahead. as planned on October 20, 2025, despite a court order restricting demonstration around the key government locations in Nigeria and of course in Abuja. The court ruling, federal high court rather in Abuja declined the police experts' motion to halt the protest, instead instructing them to serve notice on activist Omole Sowore and adjourning the case until October 21. And in response, Sowore vowed to challenge the court order, describing it as a glaring hypocrisy and a deniable double standards, and assuring the protest will be peaceful and lawful. The Nigerian police force warned protesters to obey the court order, citing public order and security concerns, and threatened the arrest and the prosecution for those who defy it. Now, this is the major situation now. Oshore is saying that, of course, the federal government is setting a double standard as regards those protests. I mean, there's been back and forth as regards the protests, but it looks like the protests will go ahead to find the court order.
Like I said, when you say a court order barring people for either protesting or going through certain routes,
in the FCT,
restricting people from going, how are you going to achieve that? Because like I said, protest is most times the actions are usually spontaneous. People just come out from everywhere because there's a protest, and they come up and say, are you going to arrest, or will you start shooting at people? So I don't know, because like I said, protest is it could be the last resort, it could be the first. It depends on the engagement procedure, And when they come out, because they have a right to protest, when you try to stop people from protesting, that means we are gradually sliding into authoritarianism or dictatorship. In a democratic system, nobody can stop you from protesting. Of course, it has to be peaceful. You have to be law-abiding while you go about it. But managing protests is usually a problem in this country. That is why I have always advocated for this system to see how some of these problems can be solved before it gets to that level of protest. This issue of Nnamdi Kanu did not just start today. It didn't start today. So how come you keep seeing adjournment upon adjournment upon adjournment? And so for me, I believe that whatever that is happening today, if people decide to come out to protest, to say that if this man, if you cannot secure a conviction and all of that, then free the man, then I think the government brought it upon themselves. But saying that you cannot go to Eagle Square, you cannot go to this facility, are they not the people's facilities? It's the people's property. Of course, we are not advocating that they should go there and begin to destroy it. Nobody is saying that. You cannot protest and still at the same time destroy your own property because it's our own. But you say restrict, you cannot go through this place and all of that. I don't know how they can be able to achieve that, because it's really very difficult to control the crowd. The next thing you see is, people's rights being violated, people being brutalized, and all in the name of you cannot pass through Eagle Square, you cannot come to the front of Aso Rock and all. So these are some of the things that for me, it's already, it's becoming a recipe for disaster. And if it's not properly managed, like I've said before, if adequate and abundant caution is not applied, we might just be seeing a situation where people's rights will be violated, and massive arrest, and it becomes the case where some, remember what happened the last end hunger strike, where some young people were arrested and kept in detention, and you saw how it became an international embarrassment. So the government should be very careful. The police should be more professional. In fact, they should be very, very careful on how they handle today's protest. They should not give those people who will be coming out for the protest the opportunity to still taint the image of the police. Before now, we know that most of these police officers don't really know how to handle protests. This is another opportunity for them to prove to Nigerians that they are not, our enemies. The police should not be seen as the enemies of the people, but
The
as
friends.
the friend of the people. And the only way people can see them, in that light is when these protests are handled with extreme caution, where we do not get to see Nigerians being brutalized in the streets. We do not get to see where there's a mass arrest of people and people being detained and kept in, the worst inhuman condition just because you want to, send a point. So that is that about that. They should, just try as much as possible to give Nigerians the impression that we still have our rights as
To protest.
citizens of this country.
All right. Before we move on to our next conversation, I would love to open the phone lines to get reactions from our listeners this morning. The numbers to call to get your reaction to this: 081-355-42321. These are the numbers: 081-355-42321. You can also call 091-286-30377 and 081-6035-3838. Good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk.
Yeah, I'm just on the line.
Welcome, Mr. Kasha.
And also, this to your guys anyway.
Yes, good morning.
I think this matter it gives me worry. Ordinarily, I'm not to contribute because I've decided not to contribute anything that has to do with the Nanticalo outside this matter of this magnitude. But when you check the whole thing, you see the kind of problems that our judicial system have brought to this nation. If I may ask, do they even meet other legal chieftains or legal luminary outside Nigeria to brainstorm on a particular matter? That the matter all to have been trashed out within 6 months is dragging in our judicial system for more than 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I don't think if these people, when they wear this their wig, do they understand their calling at all? That a matter that took place in Finland, that is even a smaller offense. If I may judge my own sense, I might know that Samuel Epa's matter is even a smaller one to the type of Finland they were able to touch it within 6 months, and the conviction took place. And is it that they're applying political or self-interest or whatever? What actually as if they want to portray? Is it that they don't have enough evidence to convict Nnamdi Kanu, or they just want to play to the gallery on this matter? Look at the kind of, is it that they don't even have anything doing in the office, that they allow this kind of matter to distract government, giving counter order from court, streamlining the protesters where they should be or whatever? I don't understand.
Right.
But it's quite unfortunate. Let them trash this Nnamdi Kanu.
Let them trash it.
The government will have to cause, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Caption. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Welcome. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, David man.
Yeah, good morning, Chief Jackson. Welcome.
Yeah, and you're still a guest in the house.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Chief.
Yes. You see, any country in this world may have a weak
I think the network situation. Keep the calls coming. 081-355-42321. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, good morning, Christian. Welcome.
Yes, I think I prefer to speak less of something I don't know.
Okay.
Because, like we are told, no two cases the same.
All right.
This matter started in 2017, right?
Yes.
He got to where he was granted bail. He absconded for over 2 years. Abi. Abi almost 3 years. He absconded after he was granted bail. And I can tell you, they have also joined this matter to Supreme Court. Supreme Court say they were carrying a no case. Supreme Court say no. However, there is a case in this matter. From what we saw in this Supreme Court, they cannot say no case declaration. I am seeing something in this matter. And the two sides are playing hide and seek. Some will say, oh, you don't have right to go and arrest TV and international law, you prove that. All of them are playing the antics, and we're blaming the courts. You see, this matter is not something that somebody will come and say is a stranger against him. You say Nigerian court did it. Is it like government? They have their own lawyer who also play their antics. Look at his medical issue now. Oh, he's not fit for trial. And then also delaying the process. How is he not fit for trial? And the Nigerian Americans have gone to and said he is fit for trial. So both of them are playing these antics. But come to think of it, we speak about injustice in senior crime and all that. I don't know people like Watama Bay. I cannot try, I've not been tried for years. And they will come and tell you that system is not working, but they are holding people back in Watama Bay.
So what's the point now? Let's get you.
The point is that the two sides are playing hard and seek. But for somebody to say they should not really seek for somebody.
The two sides, which side is that? Which side and which side?
The government and then the Kano side.
They're
You know that the government has already prescribed his associate, the group is leading and declaring a terrorist organization. And you are the leader of that such terrorist organization. You expect them to not release you like that.
So I convict him of terror.
why then exactly? So the question is, why not convict him of terrorism?
And let him go to jail.
Why? That's the situation. Why is it being postponed? Why? Well, anyway, thank you so much, Christian. 08135542321 08135542321 286-30377. You can also call 081-6035-3838 081-6035-3838 is the number to call. Right, so let's see if we can quickly move over to our next conversation this morning, so we can save time. Here we have that. All right, this is okay. Here, oh, we have it now. Roof Regbasola